let's talk about the Miami Dolphins. This is a team who's fresh off of the trade deadline. They got themselves a massive addition to this team. It really changes everything. It shows they're all in. They're ready to go try to win a Super Bowl right now, Nick. But, they made a massive trade, but this isn't really the biggest trade they've made that affected them this year. It was actually a trade that they made a few years ago that kind of set them up for a lot of positive things. And we have a story about that. You're going to get into that, tell everyone about it. But Miami fans, now that you're set to go, the team is looking very nice and they've been playing very well as well. But we've got to know in the comments below, who is your mid-season MVP? Who are you looking at? Who has surprised you? Who do you think is playing very well? Let us know in the comments below. But Nick, let's get into this trade story.
Yeah, so sometimes there are trades that happen, that kind of take a long time to develop to see how all the dominoes fell into place. And there's sometimes with trades that takes a few years to see how monumental it was. The most famous one, obviously, was when the Minnesota Vikings traded for Dallas's Herschel Walker, and the Vikings gave Dallas a bunch of picks. This was in the late 80s, and then Dallas took those picks and became a dynasty. It looks like the Dolphins, led by Chris Greer, running the GM side, may have pulled off a similar feat if you backpedal up to 2019 when they traded Laremy Tunsil to the Houston Texans. And the Ringer originally had this story, and I'm going to walk through this here, is that here we go. So here's the Ringer outlined all of the players that they got from that trade, starting with getting those draft picks from Houston. And of course, some of those picks they got from Houston, they then shoveled to San Francisco when San Francisco wanted to trade up for Trey Lance. So there's a lot of picks and players involved here. So here, bear with me here. So from those picks, they got Tyreek Hill, who right now is the NFL's leading receiver. They got Bradley Chubb, who obviously they just got, who's a stud pass rusher, stud edge rusher. They got Jalen Waddle, a superstar wide receiver, fourth leading receiver in the NFL right now. They got Javon Holland, who's a star at safety. It looks like a superstar player waiting to happen. And they got another cornerback. I'm going to butcher his last name, Noah Igbenogany. It's not right, but he's another corner. Yeah, I'll give myself some credit there. It is after midnight by the time we're filming here. So again, Miles, you go back to that Laremy Tunsil trade, which, back in 2019, it was obviously a big opportunity for the Texans, for the Dolphins to get a number of picks. But as time has gone on, the trade they later did with the 49ers, it looks like this could be the modern day Herschel Walker trade, because you literally have you have a Hall of Famer in Tyreek Hill, a potential Hall of Famer in Jalen Waddle, and then three superstar stud defensive players. This is an unbelievable move for the Miami Dolphins that happened a few years ago. Credit to Chris Greer to pulling it off. I mean, what do you think? Is this sort of just going to be, when we look back 10 years from now, Miles, is this going to be one of those trades that kind of like shaped the NFL the way we know it today?
Yeah, I think Miami fans will call this one like the Great Gas Mask Robbery.
Yeah, there you
Laremy
go.
Tunsil, known for the infamous picture that kind of dropped him a couple of draft spots unfairly. He's obviously an excellent player, and so Houston does have a good tackle out of this. But if you look at everything that the Miami has gotten, Nick, and I can just give you three players. If I was to tell you, Nick, I will give you Laremy Tunsil, or you could have Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, and Bradley Chubb. I would take the latter every single time, no question.
Not even close.
It's not even a question. I would probably even just take Tyreek Hill for Laremy Tunsil, to be honest. So, the Dolphins are set up here, like we said, after all of these moves, the trade for Chubb now mid-season, they are all in. They are ready to go win a Super Bowl. And if you look at this roster, Nick, they are set up very nicely. You alluded to this earlier. Tyreek Hill, number 1 rated receiver in the NFL currently. Jalen Waddle, number 6, number 4 on your scale of 6 on PFF at receiver right now. So you got 2 top 5-ish guys, if we call it meet in the middle. 2 top 5 receivers. You got Tua Tagovailoa, number 3 graded quarterback in the NFL right now. An O-line that has 3 top 10 players on it at center, guard, and left tackle. And then the defensive side of the ball has now been massively upgraded. Obviously, you should talk about Holland. You got Melvin Ingram. You got Bradley Chubb. You got young guy Kader Kohu. You got Xavier Howard. This is a team that's set up to win now. A lot of stars all around the ball. And I think they're about to start to make some noise, because I think this is really the one thing that Miami was missing. They weren't able to harass the passer as much as they wanted to. And when you have a guy like Chubb on the side of the ball now, that is his specialty. That is what he has been great at. So this is going to be an excellent upgrade for this Miami defense.
Yeah, 100%. According to the Ringer here, and I'll leave you with this stat, is that the Dolphins, prior to trading for Chubb, they had a 3.6% sack rate when they rushed four guys. That's 30th in the NFL, so that's obviously not good. Chubb is an exceptional pass rusher. That number is going to go way up. But it's the other side of it too, right? You bring in Chubb, a guy like that, you get to do more four-man rush. You get to play more coverage. You let guys like Holland and Howard, they do their thing in the back end. You get more turnovers. So it's just one of those kind of waterfall moves, right? The way that getting Tyreek Hill in the offseason just had a cascading effect on that offense. It opened up things for Waddle, made Tua look so much better, kind of unlocked Tua's talent. Chubb can do the same thing with his back end defense. So again, you see here, Chris Greer and the Dolphins are doing an outstanding job building this team, making all the right moves. We're seeing it paying off big dividends this year. I think it's only going to get better. And this is an exciting time to be around this Dolphins organization.
Last question for you, Nick. Do you think Chubb now joins Tua and Hill in the kitchen, like in the middle of the night, cooking up stuff? You know, he said that they wouldn't have that kind of relationship. Is Chubb invited to the party?
Can never let a defensive lineman hang out with the quarterback too much. Their natural instincts of just trying to hurt the quarterback just take over, right? Unless you got some offensive lineman protecting Tua. I don't want it. I don't trust a defensive lineman in close quarters. You can never trust them, right? Got to keep that separation.